Ever felt like time is slipping through your fingers, leaving you with a nagging sense that you haven't achieved what you set out to accomplish? Maybe you find yourself comparing your journey to those of friends, family, or colleagues who seem to have already reached their milestones. It's easy to feel left behind, wondering when or if your big break will ever come. But here's something that may surprise and encourage you. Some of history's greatest success stories only found their footing later in life. While it's true that certain pursuits, like becoming a pro athlete or pop star, may favor youth, many fields are more welcoming to late bloomers. This is especially true in the world of literature, where some of the most celebrated authors didn't gain widespread recognition until they were well into their 40s or beyond. If you've ever felt like you're running out of time to make an impact, the stories of these authors serve as a powerful reminder that it's never too late to achieve greatness. Writing is often described as an art that requires life experience, perspective, and maturity. This may be why so many famous authors only started publishing later in life. After all, the best stories come from a deep understanding of human nature and the complexities of existence. Here, we'll explore the lives of 10 remarkable writers who found success after the age of 45. They came from different backgrounds, countries, and genres, but share one common trait. Their perseverance paid off after most people might have thought their prime had passed. One of the most notable late bloomers in the literary world is Laura Ingalls Wilder, who didn't publish her first book, Little House in the Big Woods, until she was 65 years old. Wilder is famous for her Little House on the Prairie series, a collection of semi-autobiographical stories depicting her life as a pioneer in the American Midwest. These books have resonated with readers for generations, but few know that Wilder's journey to literary success began in her 40s when she started writing articles for farming magazines. Writing a full-length book wasn't on her radar until her daughter, Rose Wilder Lane, a writer herself, encouraged her to turn her childhood experiences into a narrative. Wilder's first attempt, titled Pioneer Girl, was initially rejected for being too dark for young readers. Undeterred, she transformed her manuscript into what would become the cherished Little House series. The books were an instant hit, and Wilder continued writing well into her 70s. Her story is a testament to how age can bring clarity, allowing writers to craft stories that deeply connect with others. Charles Bukowski's raw and gritty portrayal of life didn't reach a broad audience until he was 51, when he published his first novel, Post Office. Before then, Bukowski led a tumultuous life, marked by low-paying jobs and battles with alcoholism. Although he began writing poetry and short stories in his 20s, his work was mostly ignored for decades. Bukowski's turning point came after he was hospitalized for a near-fatal bleeding ulcer in his 40s. This experience led him to reassess his life and commit himself entirely to writing. At 49, John Martin, a small publisher, offered Bukowski $100 per month for life so that he could quit his job and focus on his writing. The gamble paid off. Bukowski completed Post Office in less than a month, kickstarting his career as an iconic voice of the underdog. His unapologetically honest work, including poetry and prose, resonated with those who felt marginalized, earning him a place in literary history. Richard Adams' Watership Down is considered a classic, but it wasn't published until he was 52 years old. The story of a band of rabbits on a quest for a new home originated as a series of bedtime tales for his daughters. Adams, who never saw himself as a writer, was encouraged by his family to turn the story into a novel. The path to publication wasn't smooth. Watership Down was rejected by 13 publishers before a small press, Rex Collings, took a chance on it. When it was finally released in 1972, it became an immediate success, captivating audiences with its themes of survival and leadership. The book's popularity earned Adams literary acclaim, and he went on to publish several more novels, though none reached the fame of his debut. J.R.R. Tolkien may be known as one of the most influential authors of the 20th century, but he didn't publish his first major work, The Hobbit, until he was 45. Though Tolkien was a well-established professor of Anglo-Saxon at Oxford University, his true passion was the mythical world he had been building for years. The Hobbit started as a story Tolkien told his children, much like Adams' Watership Down. At the encouragement of his friends and family, he submitted the manuscript, which quickly garnered attention. The success of The Hobbit paved the way for The Lord of the Rings, which he painstakingly completed over the course of more than a decade. Published when Tolkien was in his 60s, the trilogy became a cultural touchstone, inspiring countless adaptations and shaping the fantasy genre for generations. Raymond Chandler didn't publish his first novel, The Big Sleep, until he was 51. Before becoming a writer, Chandler had a varied career, including stints as a bookkeeper and an oil company executive. The economic hardships of the Great Depression left him unemployed and facing a midlife crisis, which ultimately pushed him toward writing. He began by penning short stories for pulp magazines in his 40s, learning the craft before transitioning to novels. The Big Sleep introduced readers to his famous detective, Philip Marlowe, and was met with critical and commercial success. Chandler's distinctive style, known for its sharp dialogue and intricate plots, became a defining feature of the hard-boiled detective genre. He continued to write until his death, proving that his pivot to fiction in midlife was more than worthwhile. Frank McCourt's journey to literary fame is perhaps one of the most inspiring. McCourt was 66 when he published his first book, sAshes, a memoir chronicling his impoverished childhood in Ireland. The book's vivid storytelling and raw honesty captivated readers, earning him a Pulitzer Prize for biography in 1997. McCourt had always been a storyteller, but spent most of his adult life as a high school teacher in New York City. It wasn't until after his retirement that he decided to write down the stories he had been telling for years. The success of sAshes led McCourt to write 2 more memoirs, Tis and Teacher Man, further cementing his legacy as a masterful memoirist. His late-in-life career is a poignant example of how patience and persistence can lead to greatness. Mary Wesley is a perfect example of someone who found success in the golden years of her life. She published her first novel, Jumping the Queue, at the age of 70. Before that, Wesley had led an eclectic life, including a role in MI5 during World War II, but didn't venture into serious writing until later. Her debut was a hit, leading to a series of popular novels, including The Chamomile Lawn and Harnessing Peacocks. Wesley's works were known for their bold themes and wit, challenging social norms and expectations of women in her time. Writing well into her 80s, Wesley proved that it's never too late to express creativity and make an impact. Bram Stoker may be synonymous with Gothic horror, but he didn't achieve literary fame until he published Dracula at 50. Stoker had spent most of his career managing a theater for the famous actor Sir Henry Irving and writing in his spare time. While he had already authored several books, none garnered significant attention until Dracula. The iconic novel, which tells the story of Count Dracula's move from Transylvania to England, captivated readers with its eerie narrative and compelling characters. Stoker's story, with its themes of fear and the supernatural, has influenced generations and remains a cornerstone of the horror genre. The fact that Stoker's major success came later in life is a reminder that true recognition can come when least expected. Anna Sewell's beloved novel, Black Beauty, was published when she was 57 and was her only published work. Sewell's lifelong love of horses and her compassion for animals inspired her to write the novel, which highlighted the cruelty faced by horses in Victorian England. Written from the perspective of a horse, Black Beauty served both as a children's story and a call for animal welfare. Sewell's health was failing when the book was released, and she died just 5 months later. However, her legacy has lived on, as Black Beauty remains one of the best-selling books of all time and has influenced generations' views on the treatment of animals. Harriet Doerr's literary career didn't take off until she was 74, when she published her debut novel, Stones for Ibarra. The book, inspired by her experiences living in Mexico, won the National Book Award for First Work of Fiction. Doerr's story is a testament to patience and the enduring power of dreams. After raising a family and losing her husband, she returned to college in her 60s, completing her degree and focusing on her passion for writing. Doerr continued to write, releasing short stories and essays before her death. Her example shows that the second chapter of life can be as fulfilling and impactful as the first. These authors' stories show that while the world may put pressure on youth and early achievement, genuine success doesn't always adhere to a timetable. Their late starts remind us that life experience, resilience, and a deep well of accumulated wisdom can result in works of great significance. Whether you're 30, 50, or 70, it's never too late to pursue your dreams. By the way, if there's any topic in this video that catches your eye, just comment down below and let me know if you want me to make a separate video on it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Wow, you guys have made it till the end of the video. And remember, according to YouTube, the best way to help the channel in the algorithm is to watch another one of my videos right after this one. So go ahead and check it out. Thanks for sticking around. See you soon. Until then, peace.